It came out of the blue, actually. I got a phone call from a guy in Sweden, and he told me that he had just bought a Lyngdorf system, and for the first time ever, he heard a piano sound like a piano from a hi-fi system. And he was just flabbergasted and asked me, "What is it you're doing?" And he said, "I happen to know the management and the owner of Steinway Sons. And they should hear this. They should hear what is possible. Do you want to meet them?" And I said, "Well, if you can arrange it, I would love to, because, once you get into loving classical music and so on, Steinway Sons is the finest brand in musical instruments." I went over there with that guy, and we had some meetings, and he's ended up with I discussing with the CEO at the time that would be interesting for Steinway to maybe do a Steinway audio system. And we ended up hiring up to 30 engineers to work on the project. So we got the best of engineering. And we presented the drawings and everything, how it would look in the final version and so on. And then we did a demo in a hotel room. And he was absolutely over the moon. He said, "This is unbelievable. It is absolutely crazy." He'd heard all the studio monitors ever and so on. So this is absolutely stunning.
So Steinway Lyngdorf today has over 20 loudspeakers, but it all started with the Model D, which was the foundation of our partnership with Steinway Sons. And the first 3 loudspeakers were all dipole speakers, which play in the room, with the room, and need a lot of space. So we also added loudspeakers for placement against the wall, because some customers said, "I cannot place the speaker in the room, I want speakers against the wall." And then we later also added speakers for home cinemas. But a Steinway Lyngdorf speaker is not just a speaker, it's always a full system. So it always comes with Steinway amplifiers and Steinway processors in stereo or in multi-channel. And we even calibrate the loudspeaker to the room acoustics using our Room Perfect technology. And again, these systems are fully digital. So from the processor, there's a digital data coming into the power amplifier. We have 2 kinds of amplifiers, 2-channel and 4-channel amplifiers, depending on which loudspeakers are used. And then when you turn the volume wheel, we control the voltage on the power amp output. And the electronics are also built here in Skive in Denmark, and also go through the full 24-hour tests that we do here with Lyngdorf Audio. Every Steinway speaker is built here in Denmark, except the lacquering that is done at the same facility where Steinway also lacquers their pianos. Some customers like to have the speaker right against the wall to have the most of that living space and have a very discreet speaker. So there are other customers who really want to have the most space for the loudspeaker, like for a piano. So they want to place the speaker right into the room. So we designed some speakers as a dipole, an open baffle loudspeaker. And that means that usually when you take the best woofers or the best tweeters and mid-ranges into a loudspeaker and you build a box around it, you get some kind of coloration. That happens every time you put something in a box. So one of the ingenious things about the Model D is that it has no box, no coloration, nothing behind it. We only hear the purity of these drive units. All Steinway Sons loudspeakers always use the same tweeter, so our AMT, air motion transformer, that really is very clear, very transparent, and which is a very high SPL. So it never really sounds forced or compressed or anything. It's a very natural, open sound. And most loudspeakers are rather boring, because most speakers are boxes. And if you look at the Model D or other loudspeakers, you can really walk around the loudspeaker and see how it's built and some acoustic things. Like a piano, if you open a piano, you can look inside and really talk about how it's done and how good sound is created. So what I think is really special about the Steinway Lyngdorf systems is they have a lot of presence in the room. They are black and gold and they have the Steinway Sons logo. But since they are acoustically very well designed and we have this room perfect calibration to the room acoustics, it doesn't end there, because then you sit down and you have this wonderful music experience. So it's really like best of both worlds.
I promised that we could design a system where we could reproduce a Steinway grand piano so that a trained piano tuner would not hear any faults in the reproduction. And the Steinway pianist would say, "That's a perfect reproduction of the piano." And I will throw in a symphony orchestra at no extra.